We are the 6th of March 2022, and I am confronted by an inner tragic conflict, because I know that reality is a projection of what I call my transcendental self, and that the empirical person that you see is an idea in the mind of the transcendental self, and every other human and the world of nature and the world of spirit is a reflection of an idea. And I understand reality more and more, and I am confronted by an inner conflict, because I can try to limit the damage inflicted upon mankind by making these videos. Why at the moment no one watches them or understands them, which I understand why, because I know why it's not the moment. But either I continue to make these videos to prove to myself or to mankind that I tried my best to prevent the damages and the conflicts. I can choose this path to say that my true family is my spiritual family, which is all thinking consciousnesses, and I must share as much information and understanding as I can. And in order for me to do that, I must continue to publish videos and to share my knowledge and all that. That's the first option that I have. The second option is to tell what I'm saying on the internet to my empirical family, to the family of this empirical being, to tell them the thing which I know the truth, namely that I am an idea, this body is an idea in the mind of God, and that they themselves, my natural empirical family members, are ideas in my mind, which is impossible for them to understand. How could they were there before me? How could I explain to them that they are my intellectual children? In a way, that's very complicated. And if I develop my ideas, which I know to be true, namely that reality is a reflection of my mind, they will send me in a mental asylum, and I will not be able to make these videos anymore, and they will take me on, they will put me on drugs and pills, and I know what will happen. And I also know that if I were in a mental asylum, I would be able to reconstruct absolute knowing, which is my purpose, and to re-establish my own sovereignty within my own reality with the videos that I have posted, with the knowledge that I have coming from everywhere, the news, talking with people. Reality is constantly sending information at me, because these are my unconscious thoughts coming at the source of the thoughts, which is my transcendental self. So I am conflicted, because either I continue to publish my videos with very little success for now, but I know that they will become watched at some point, when I already said it will be too late for this empirical individual, and he will deserve the suffering that he will endure. But either I continue to publish my videos, and I'm kind of forced to lie to my biological family. I try to express the idea, but I do not go to the full logical conclusion, because that would prevent me from continuing my videos. Or I am totally honest with my biological family, and I end up in a mental asylum, and with the necessity to rebuild my own knowledge from the ground up in very difficult conditions. But then I cannot make videos on the internet and explain to the whole world potentially what is going on in the world, the Hegelian process at work in the world. So I am in a tragic conflict within me, and there is no in a real tragedy there is no good solution. It's a conflict between Kantian ethics. Kantian ethics would be to say the absolute truth to my biological family. I believe that they are an idea in my mind, and I will end up in a mental institution. That would be the Kantian ethics. The utilitarian viewpoint would be, I continue by publishing this video to say the truth to the internet, but utilitarianism is kind of not real ethics. So I am conflicted within myself, and there is no real solution. And I don't know what to do. And the essence of tragedy, says Philip K. Dick, is a higher intelligent will conflicting with the limited knowledge of the individual. And I know that from an abstract point of view, the world is my own will made manifest to me. So it's my own will coming back at me. So whatever happens, I wanted it in a way. I don't remember having said I know all the things and I want them to happen the way they do, but I know from an abstract standpoint that in the absolute this is what is happening. So my highest transcendental self, the all-knowing principle of all reality, is made manifest in reality, and this is what we call the world. And my empirical self, with his limited knowledge, but while still knowing that in an abstract point of view I possess absolute knowing, but without consciously possessing it. So I am in the position of a tragic figure in like the Greek theater, and I don't know what to do. And I don't know what to do. And I am choosing the weak path by pretending that I can leave aside the problem for now and continue to make videos on the internet, and I will see when. But it's the option of weakness. What should I do? If I were true to myself, I would follow Kant and speak the absolute truth to my biological family. I would end up in a mental asylum, and I would have, out of these conditions with the chemicals implanted in my being, I would have to reconstruct absolute knowing and reconnect my situation in a mental asylum with that of the whole world. I would maybe not have access to the news. I couldn't publish. So that would be very difficult. And during this time, the whole world would suffer because I would not be there to directly speak to them. So I would sacrifice not the well-being, but the least bad being. I know it's not English, but I would not be able to limit the suffering out of an abstract Kantian principle just to be at peace with my own inner self and say I have told the truth as much as I could in the current situation. So I'm in a conflicting situation and I don't know what to do, and yeah, it's not easy to be in my position. Yeah.